Hey, 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 welcome to Your Best podcast, where we are going to discover all the ways that we can have our best. I'm your host, Teemaree, the best life coach. My clients, let me tell you, they have breakthroughs in their life, their health, their business, even their spirituality. So it's always a good time. But that's not all we got here, honey. We have also got amazing guests like Rick Salmeron, who is a certified financial planner, an independent financial advisor, Dallas-based CEO of Salmeron Financial. He has clients coast to coast, and he can help you to grow your wealth so you can grow your life. You know we're loving this, honey. So Rick, welcome, welcome. Please tell us right off the bat, what is your website?
Hi, Teemaree. My website is salmeronfinancial.com, all one word.
Awesome. Awesome. And we'll share that at the end as well. But I'd like to get that right off the top so people know this is going to be chock full of great information and connection that'll help them. So, okay, this is self-esteem in your money. Mm-hmm. Now, as a coach that helps people to live their best life, without money, we can't do anything, right? We just can't. No matter how good our heart is, no matter what, yes, we have all these attributes, but in this world, we need money. It makes the world go round. Mm-hmm. What struck me about I'm just going to ask you the question that everybody always asks you. Rick, what's the best investment to make?
What's the best investment to make? It may come as a surprise that it is not the XYZ fund or this sector or this stock or what have you. If I had to devote time, money, and energy into one single thing, I wish I knew this decades ago. I'm glad I don't know this any later in life. However, the one area that I believe is the most powerful, influential place to invest time and money, it's your self-esteem. Mm-hmm. It's your belief in you, how you like yourself, your self-estimate. When I have a very high self-esteem, I care about my future.
Yes.
Right? It makes all the difference in whether we recognize it or not. Our self-esteem is sitting here right on our shoulders as a silent partner. It is behind every single decision that we make, every meal that we prepare, every exercise class that we take or don't take, every money decision that we have, every relationship decision that we make. Our self-esteem is behind those decisions and those actions that we take. I remember learning this concept from someone long ago, and it's always stuck in my mind. And just imagine, we have a thermometer to take our temperature, right? Stick it under our tongue, see whether we have a fever or not. What if there was a thermometer that measured your self-esteem?
Oh my gosh.
Something else?
Yes.
So if you put the self-esteem-o-meter, say, in your mouth, under your tongue, wouldn't you agree that on a scale of 1 being desolate and 100 being, wow, oh my gosh, that a person living a life with a 85 self-esteem is leading a stronger, more vibrant, more abundant life than someone at, say, a 34?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. As a matter of fact, I have a specific program. I have a specific coaching program for confidence. Okay. And confidence is very much attributed to self-esteem. And it's for this very purpose. We might not sit around thinking, do I feel confident today? Like maybe we don't talk to ourselves in that way, but you said it exactly right. It's like when we're feeling low, whether it's esteem-wise or confidence, which are very similar, we aren't going to make those decisions that are going to foster that better life we want. We just aren't, because we're not in the space for it. So yes, I love that you mention the importance of esteem, because it absolutely kicks off the very direction in which you're going to move.
Yes, yes. It fuels those everyday decisions and actions that we take. If you imagine, how do you drive up your self-esteem? And if you imagine the formula to do that is really a series of small activities, small actions every single day.
Mm-hmm.
It is not found in the extreme. My life will not change and transform in a day due to some exterior life event. Does that happen to people? Yeah, it can, and it does, although that's so rare. So if I cannot depend on that life event to happen to really transform my life, my life transformation is dependent upon what I do day in and day out. And they're like grains of sand. These baby actions are grains of sand. And with the actions that I choose to do or not to do day in and day out, I'm either building a very beautiful sandcastle or I'm building a very boring, dull mound.
Absolutely.
I'd rather build the beautiful, magnificent sandcastle. And that's how I see life results. And that can be applied to your money, that can be applied to your health, that can be applied to all the different areas of life. And this is, again, why I believe fervently that self-esteem is such the driver of our life. When we believe in ourselves, when we really love ourselves, imagine how your life is if you are your biggest fan.
Mm.
When you're your biggest fan, then great actions occur. You become stimulated in the positive sense, because momentum, I think you'd agree with me, Teemaree, momentum takes both sides. It can be really positive or really negative.
Sure.
And we want to make sure that our momentum is in a positive direction. And we have a better chance of that happening when we really, really think that we're the best thing on the earth.
Exactly. When we love ourselves, when we appreciate ourselves, when we feel we're worth something, then we're going to put in the efforts to care for ourselves, to succeed in life, to do the hard work, because it is hard work, right? When we change something. It is hard work when we decide to invest in something, whether it be investing in getting better self-esteem, getting confidence with a coach, or investing in a financial product that should yield results. It might be scary. You might have to change the way you operate. So those emotions are inevitable. And like you said perfectly, so those grains of sand will always exist. What are we going to do with the grains of sand? Are we going to build good things, or are we going to just let's just see what happens here? And so when we love ourselves and when we have that sense of esteem, we do have that driving force, which you said it's like a hidden lever that once it's pulled changes the mechanics of everything.
Yeah. Yeah. And some days are not going to be great.
Sure.
Right? We want most of the days to be great, but some are not. And when you just take a look and assess in an assessment of how did I do today? What were the actions that I did that will really boost myself, boost my future, boost my self-esteem? Sometimes the best. Sometimes they're not so great, and our days might be, negative days, and that can happen. But if we can at least over the week win the week, if we can win the week and then win the weeks, we then win the months, and then we win the year, and then so on and so forth. So the more that we can pay attention to what we're doing on a regular, consistent basis, the better our life results will be.
Now, this awakening that you had, how did that occur for you? Because like you said, it was something that you learned. You wish you would have learned it earlier. So did you invest in coaching to start, whether it be books, or how did this happen for you? How did you have this awakening?
I started my personal development journey in 2017 when I really discovered it. I took an immersive class for a long weekend. I've taken several other personal growth courses. I have, yes, also coaches, reading, listening to podcasts, immersing myself in the arena of personal growth. And that's really part of the grains of sand, as I see it, to make a better life for myself. It makes you, second guess, what am I doing on a Saturday these days? What am I listening to in the car, right? Who am I surrounding myself with? These are they feel like not really direct ways to affect my life, but frankly, they are.
Mm-hmm.
They are. The way that you can create better life results in your life, in my view, comes from a lot of exterior, outside forces and sources that you would maybe not consciously say this is priority number one, but it all does add up. Hiring a coach like yourself is a great way to influence your behavior and
Mm-hmm.
your actions. Let's face it, we're all walking around in life doing the best that we can with blinders on.
Sure.
We can only see so much, right? And how favorable it is, how effective it is, and how positive it is to have someone from the outside in able to shine flashlights in those dark
Yes.
areas that we cannot see. That awakening is where discoveries happen. And it doesn't
Absolutely.
feel good, right? It doesn't feel good. And it's not supposed to. We don't, if we're growing, we're going into a territory that we'd never been in before. So that fear that we feel, that anxiety that we feel, that's completely natural.
Mm-hmm.
It's expected and it should be welcomed. So when you feel that way, that's frankly a sign, in my opinion, that you're headed in the right direction, that you're headed on
Yes.
track to something, right?
Yes, yes, indeed. And I love that you're touching on this because it's so powerful. So often, I think before we enter into this personal growth, personal development, really kind of looking, right? We're living and things are kind of automatic. So we're living and we just have the things around us that we have. Even the things we are directing, I feel we just have kind of around us. Okay, I made this one choice, but it's not a collection of conscious choices. It just kind of is now on automatic. And so it's great that you're touching on the importance of these things, of how not only is it in all these little areas that subconsciously don't seem large, but have such a great effect on us and the quality of our life, but also on the importance of the investment in ourselves. Because that's another thing I think is very interesting. Until we wake up to the importance of this work in general for ourselves, to say, hey, I really think maybe, wow, what if I could learn a new way to think? Wow, what if I could learn a new way to, handle my emotions or whatever it might be that kicks us off? I think it seems strange at first to say, well, what? Because it's not yet very common. But I love that you're sharing the importance of the advancements like the one we're about to get into next. I mean, you said, and I think this is spot on because again, this is about if you're thinking about your money, Rick helps people with their money, but he also is telling us how important it is about what we feel about ourselves. And just wait till you hear this. Tell us, Rick, about how your work in your personal development and your self-esteem helped you to have a 250% increase in your network. Please explain this for everyone.
It all comes down to habits. It all counts to daily habits. I recognize that the actions that I was taking, this goes back to many years ago, but the actions that I was taking, were they in alignment with the direction that I wanted my money to go? And the short answer was no. I didn't realize it at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize it at the time. It was something that I was not able to discover on my own because I was sitting in my comfort zone box. My subconscious was, as it is, still is today, my subconscious drives my decisions. Yet years ago, my subconscious was telling me limiting beliefs like, I'm not good enough for this. I'm not worthy of this. And that's a very hard belief to turn around. It
Right.
doesn't happen in a day. I wish it did, but it doesn't. But I discovered that that's what the voice that was so common in between my ears, that was the voice that was talking so loudly. And for me to turn the volume down on that voice and turn up the volume of the voice that said, no, you are good enough for this. you are magnificent. You are worthy of all these things. When I start to be that kind of person, then I become attractive. I become more of an attractive person. And this is how people can earn a stronger income. This is how people can increase their personal net worth. It is a personal belief system that should be and needs to be transformed. Because if our life results, our life results are all thanks to the actions that we have taken. My balance sheet today is thanks to the actions that I took 5 years ago
Yes.
and 10 years ago. And the actions that I'm taking today are planting the seeds to determine what my financial balance sheet will look like in 5 years and in 10 years from now. So if I take a look at my life results today, I'm speaking to your audience. You take a look at your life results today, and if you don't like what you see, then something has to change. Something needs to change, because I'll make a prediction that your life results will look like they are today in 5 and 10 years unless something changes. So my own personal story, I never heard that message
Right.
10 years ago. And when I heard that message, attending this course and continuing on down the personal growth path, when I heard that message, I thought, wow, nothing changes if nothing changes. And if this is really important, a really important goal for me, if I want my life to be more or better or different in a space, then I need to come up with another recipe. I need to add some different ingredients. I need to take out some ingredients that are going on in my life so that I can change the trajectory from here to here, from one direction to another direction, and head in that direction that I really want to find myself in the short and long-term future. So it's the short answer, long-winded answer, but the short answer is I changed my voice inside myself. And I'm still working on that. I don't have anything mastered. I'm just a lot better at it these days than I was back in 2016 and earlier. So
I
we
love
need the
that.
Teemarees in our lives to help us change that.
I love that, and that's why I'm passionate about this work. I thank you so much for sharing that, because it is very important. For me personally, I've walked this walk myself. Like you share, hey, I was not born with this information. I was not aware of the beliefs that I personally had that were going in stark contrast to what I actually wanted and voiced that I wanted in my life. I had no idea that I was at an actual conflict with myself, thinking, hey, I really want this, this, and this to be achieved. But ultimately, deep inside of my heart, my subconscious beliefs, there's this, but can you? But is that really going to be a good idea? Or in some cases, because I have a very strong, faith, is that in conflict with your faith? Is that make you this type of person? We all have these things. And the problem is that if we're trying to do it just all by ourselves, even when we do, like you said so beautifully, even when we do say, I got to change something. Well, shoot, I'm still the same me, though. How could I choose what to change unless I get help to start to see something different and feel something different? So I love that you're sharing this, and especially from what you do in life, because, that's another thing we might have a strange belief around. We might think that, oh, well, if I'm having these beliefs, I am a coach, or I am a person that's just this one thing. And it's like, no, these beliefs, this work affects all our life, including our money, which is so important to us. We want to earn more money. We want to have retirement. We want to have savings. We want to have investments. We want to have things for our children. And what we have to understand is that, like I was in my past, I might be voicing those things, but if I don't believe I'm worth that investment to seek out help, like with you, Rick, and I know nothing about finances and truly making investments, come on.
It may sound odd. Many people may believe, well, the key to growing my net worth by 250% is investment selection. I need to find, the fund or the place to invest my money, and then voila, that will just automatically happen. That's not the path. It's not the path. It's not to be ignored, don't get me wrong.
Sure.
However, the change needs to occur something deeper. The change needs to occur with how you feel about yourself. Mm-hmm. You feel about yourself. And that can be a very, very long, arduous task if you want to attempt to do that on your own. Yeah. If you're wanting to, I'm in Dallas, Texas. That's where where I'm based. And if I want to go to New York City, it's going to take me years to get there if I'm going to walk on my own. Mm-hmm. However, I'll get there a lot quicker if I'm in an airplane. How can I get in an airplane? I can get an airplane if I've got a team behind me. Mm-hmm. I got some pilots helping me out. If I got some flight attendants helping me out. So when I have the right coaches, the right people that I hang around with, things change. Transformation occurs there.
Yes.
We can listen to podcasts, and that's very good. I love listening to podcasts, and I love watching educational YouTube videos. That helps fill my brain crevices. However, if there's no action that's taken on those, it's just entertainment. It doesn't do too much good. And the reason I feel that people do not take action after being provided that kind of insight or education goes down to that belief in themselves.
Sure.
That belief in themselves. And when that changes, and when they have that support system behind them to change those beliefs, that's when actions start to change and start to transform. It's like the neural pathways in the brain, and I'm not a neurologist. However, if I've got this automatic pilot, I've got automatic pilots, everyone does. Whenever something happens, here's my go-to action, whatever that means, whether it be hide under the covers and put a pillow under my head, or really dive in and go to it, or anything in between. If I don't have clear, healthy pathways to a better financial life, relationship life, health life, then there's some shrubbery in the way.
Sure.
There's some shrubbery in the way, and that needs to be cleared out so that there's a bright light shining. Take this path next time. Take this path next time. Don't go down the old road that you've been doing for the last 5, 10, 15 years, because it's not going to get you to where you want to go. It's going to take you forever. So let's find a different way.
Absolutely.
And it's just that belief system. It's very hard to grasp, but it's the essence of where change happens. And that's really what we're all looking for, is we're looking for a better life. How can we be better people? How can we be better with our money? How can we be better with our health and our relationships in life? And this is why support from others from the outside in can be and is so valuable.
Absolutely. I love how you're sharing this. And so for those of you that are listening, I'll give you a couple of examples, because you might be thinking, well, okay, this all sounds good, but how does this really affect my money? So let me break it down for you in a couple ways, and then we're going to kick it back to Rick, who's going to share about, how this has transformed, because he's got a great story too around connections and meeting people. I'll share 2 quick stories with you. One is about being raised. I was raised with not a lot of money. So there was never a lot of money for anything, and single parent family, and they're doing the best that they can. But that belief had me then inherently fear credit and inherently not now. We'll even start with that first one, because that's all we need. If you fear credit, you can have a healthy fear of credit, meaning I don't want to overspend more than I earn. But if you fear credit to where you will not deal with credit, now you have removed many paths to wealth, because credit is a tool. But if you inherently believe that it's bad to have credit, or it's scary, and you have perfect reasons like I did to believe that, then like Rick and I are both sharing, then it would benefit you and your money to seek a way to to get rid of those feelings, process them, and get a new perspective so that then you can have access to a level of tools that can help you when you're saying that you want to have more money and more access to things. So that's one. Another one that I had really quickly was, because we are talking about how this affects your money, right? So how do your beliefs affect your money? Another way was debt. So one's about credit, meaning saying I'm, putting something on credit. And the other one is like having debt at all. Well, guess what? Most of us need to have debt. If you want to buy a car, most of us need to have debt. If you want to buy a house, both of these things are needs. Having a house is actually an investment tool, depending on what you're doing and how you purchase it. If I'm afraid to have any kind of debt, notice how that is not an option for me at all, ever. So, friends, this is key. And now Rick is going to share with us, because this was another way that he just, he's met, he said, it even led me to, his work even led him to incredible meetings. Share with us, Rick, about that.
I met a lot of amazing people because I felt I'm worthy of meeting these people. John McEnroe, Tom Brady. There's a picture on my phone of my wife and I last year at Wimbledon with John McEnroe.
Oh, wow.
And that Elizabeth Hurley, Tommy Hilfiger, Cole Hauser, just being able to be in their presence has been magnificent. And would I have thought I haven't had the chance to meet these people one-on-one and have a picture with them and enjoy spending time with them? Not 10 years ago, but today, sure, absolutely, absolutely, because we're all valuable. We're all valuable people, all valuable people. And something I would like to piggyback on what you said just earlier, Teemaree, for those listening. What's this belief system about money? I don't quite get it. And I myself even didn't get it long ago. However, let me give you a sentence and fill in the blank on the sentence. And this will help you discover what your belief about money is. And the sentence goes like this. When I was a child, money was blank. Fill in the blank. What's your first response to that blank? Was it money was evil? Money was plentiful? Money was scarce? Money was whatever the feeling or whatever the emotions are that when you say the word money, our subconscious, we go back to our childhood. And our childhood is what develops our belief systems. For myself, when I was a child, money scarcity was a predominant theme in the house. Now, that has served me well over my life. I've been careful about how I spend. I don't feel like I'm a frivolous spender. I'm generally a very much of a saver in life. I've always been that way, looking back, and that was the normal pattern of my behavior, which frankly helped me feel very confident about doing what I do as a profession and having my company. Yet at the same time, I also know that that's held me back in a lot of areas too, Teemaree. I was too stingy to invest in myself. That personal growth class that I took almost 10 years ago, I had to drop some coin to do that. I wouldn't have, that was a hard decision to make. That was a very hard decision to make. Today, sign me up. You know, if I can see some value in that to help me better myself as a person, I now understand and believe what the value is in that. And before that, I didn't know because I was afraid of spending money. So everyone has got their own belief system about money, and that none of these belief systems are necessarily right or wrong, good or bad. They are only, in my view, right or wrong when you look at your life results and you don't see the kind of life results that you want. Then that's identifying, and maybe it's unknown at the time, but that's identifying a belief system somewhere that may not be working for you the way it should. Okay. So I'm not a personal growth guru. I'm just an avid student. I would resort to the professionals like the host of this podcast to better dive into those kinds of things. But that is really where you uncover when you start to have, going back full circle to self-esteem, when you feel like you are great and that you really, really like and if not love yourself, you start to begin to open windows in your internal windows, and out come the amazing qualities that we all have as people when we were born as a baby. Courageous, brave, outgoing, loving, caring, honest, all of these qualities that we all have inside of us that turn out to be stifled down as we get older, as we have life experiences that the one word that we probably learn the most as a child is the word no.
Yes.
we're told no all the time, and for good reason. Our parents are protecting us from things, but that's what we're trained, and that's we're soaking in as a sponge in anything and everything around us as a young age. So that carries with us in our adult years. So these can hurt us and they can help us. So going back to money, if you love the results of your money life, then it sounds like you're on track for a great life moving forward. If on the other hand, gosh, I really feel like that there's a gap, or I really am nowhere where I would want to be, then there's opportunity for growth there, for sure.
That is like the perfect button to this, because that's exactly it. So and that's the perfect way to put that. If you are looking at your money life and you're not happy with your money life, and real happy friends, come on now. We're not playing games over here. It's not that, oh, well, that's not happy. If you have to say, oh, well, that's not happy. It's, I'm looking and I'm like, yeah, cool. I'm great. Perfect. You're spot on. If it's all well, you got to explain first, or just you really honestly just don't feel happy. Now you know you can access help that could give you a different result. And that if you start today, just like Rick said, you are planting those seeds that will bear fruit for you. Because he also touched on something very important that I don't want us to close without. Understand that this is a process in which you plant now, and then the results come a little bit later, both financially and also with the work of personal growth and development. So, oh my gosh, you've just been so, so great, Rick. Listen, I know you say well, actually I have this question. Could you advise, you said you have people all over the country, so it is okay for people to reach out to you at your website and say, hey, I'd like for you to advise me financially. That's correct, right?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Okay. And so where again can people reach out to you?
They can, again, visit my website, salmeronfinancial.com. I can also be found on social media channels, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. Just search my name and I will pop up. But I can connect with anyone in social media. If you want to just follow me on social media, you may. And if you like to receive ongoing posts that I would like to call light bulb moments, where I can shine lights of money wisdom in areas that you may not have considered, then you can count on that on my social media channels too. So if there's any way I can help elevate and level up your money life, that's what I'm here about.
Yes, I love that. So definitely reach out to salmeronfinancial.com for all of that wonderful goodness that Rick just shared with you. It's also going to be in the show notes. You'll have the quick links and everything will be typed out for you, so you don't have to worry about how to spell things or anything at all. And then if you want to connect with me, you realize, hey, I got something going on. I don't feel as confident. You know what? I really would like to process this subconscious talk I've got going on. Or maybe you don't even know that deep. You just know, hey, I have a goal and I want help achieving that goal. Reach out to me. My name is Teemaree, and you can find me on bestlifecoaching.online. All the addresses will be here. And you know I'm going to tell you to subscribe to the show. Come on now. You want to subscribe to Your Best Podcast as well, because we're going to be having additional wonderful conversations with people like Rick and more. Thank you, Rick, for being with us today and for sharing, how your growth has helped you to financially grow and giving folks just that sense of like hope and understanding. If they're off, there's hope. They can do something.
Thank you, Teemaree. No better way to spend the last 30 minutes than this.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. Be sure to subscribe and visit teemaree.com/free for more goodness. Woo!